Master Soul? Hello. I'm Master Cole Umbo from Homicide. It's a pleasure. Well, not exactly a pleasure, but, well, let me offer my condolences. I'm investigating the death of Master Indara. Terrible thing. She's one with the Force, naturally, but you worked together in the past, so I'm sure this came as something of a shock. Anyway, in case it came across my desk, I read the interviews with the witnesses from the bar. Did you know she'd been drinking? Very strange. A Padawan who studied at the main temple with me took up Corellian ale a couple of years ago. No effect on him, he was a Quarren. But he liked it because it was a social activity and he got tired of hunkering down in temples all the time. Any chance Master Indara was feeling isolated? Did she ever reach out to you? Her record says she served with you on a number of missions in the past, which I found very interesting. Can I ask you if you recognize the person in this hologram? When you say she looks like your previous Padawan, do you mean Osha? The one who eventually left the Order? Is that the Padawan you're referring to? Yeah, I agree she does look a lot like her. I had the librarians pull the file and looked it over. You're certain it's Osha? See, here's the thing, Master Soul. It can't possibly be Osha. It doesn't add up. I don't know if you've been keeping in contact with your former Padawan. No? Probably for the best. The Council'd say it was too much of an attachment. Well, I had some of the Knights run down where she went after she left. You know what they found? She's working as a mechanic. A mechanic on a Trade Federation ship. The Knights are trying to zero in on exactly where in the galaxy she's assigned right now, so we don't know if she would have been anywhere near Master Indara just yet. Well, Master Soul, I'm sure she'll be glad to hear you struggle to think why she'd harm a Jedi. I can't really speak to that. I never met her. What's bothering me is that she can't possibly harm a Jedi. At least, not in the way Master Indara was killed. Watch that hologram again. See that part? That is what convinced me it couldn't possibly be Osha in that hologram. Now think about it, Master Soul. Those are some very advanced hand-to-hand combat techniques. The woman in that hologram knocks out several other people before Master Indara engages with her. She's advanced enough that even Indara can't beat her without resorting to the Force. And then there's the knives. Have you ever thrown a knife, Master Soul? I tried it in one of the sparring halls. Cleared all of the Padawans out first, of course, and it was a good thing, too. Nearly took one of my own fingers off. See, the thing is, even if they're made for throwing, it's very hard to get a knife to land point first, even for a Jedi Master. Doing that with enough force to kill someone? Well, I couldn't do it. Master Soul, do you know anything about mechanics? Neither did I. Thankfully, there's a dozen of them in any temple to help keep the cruisers and hyper rings running. So I went down and asked them what it would take to get a job on a Trade Federation ship. You know what they told me? You need a degree from a recognized shipyard, like in Corellia or Kua, which means at least 4 years and 100,000 credits in tuition. Even with the severance for a retired Padawan, that's a lot of money. Then, once you've graduated, you need your hyperdrive mechanic license. That means 6 months apprenticeship on a Class 2 freighter or larger. Once you get the license, you have to spend 100 hours a year in continuing education classes, which the Federation absolutely does not give you time off for. On top of it all, there's the Republic, trying to take away the jobs of honest, working sentients and giving them to droids. I'm sorry, Master Soul. I know it doesn't sound important, But you have to realize that it's a very time-consuming line of work. Where, in the middle of all that, is an honest, working mechanic supposed to find the time to learn to fight like a Jedi or throw a knife with that kind of accuracy. No, it just doesn't make any sense. We're running down OSHA just to tie up the loose ends, but I'm confident she didn't have anything to do with Master Indara's death. The problem is that hologram. There's someone in that hologram that looks just like your old Padawan. That's very interesting, Master Soul. That's why I wanted to come talk to you this afternoon. See, when you show me a recording that looks like a person doing things that person has no reason to do, there are two possibilities that naturally spring to mind. Shapeshifters and identical twins. Now, Claudites are pretty hard to rule out, but twins? All I needed to rule that out was a birth certificate. So I asked the librarians to pull OSHA's, and you know what they told me? She didn't have one. No medical records at all before she was 10. And no explanation for why we didn't have them. Just a footnote, pointing to a file about a planet called Brendock. Very unusual. Now, it wasn't easy to get that file, Master Soul. I'm sure you understand why. But I did get a hold of it eventually, and it was very interesting reading. It turns out OSHA did have a twin sister, didn't she? Her name was May. There was a lot in that file about the circumstances of their birth and their parents, but I'm not really concerned about that. What concerns me is the murder of Master Indara. And the only thing in that file that matters to me is the fact that May supposedly died on Brendock. Fell down a collapsed bridge. You were the one who reported that, Master Soul. You were the last person to see her alive. So tell me, Master, are you sure? And before you answer this, keep in mind how important it is that we know this with certainty. Are you absolutely sure she's dead? All right, Master Soul. If you say she couldn't have survived the fall, I trust your opinion. I'll get the Knights out looking for signs of Claudites in the area right away. It'll be tough to nail anything to a shapeshifter, but it's worth a shot. Thank you for your time, Master Soul. Oh, just one more thing. You were a full-fledged master on Brendock, and everyone agrees you're as handy with the Force as anyone else. When May fell down that bridge, why didn't you just jump down that crevasse and check on her?